guys, it's Lil. So, what I'm learning is that you're not a real YouTuber until you have microphone issues. Woo! This video is like climbing a mountain covered in mud. Every time I think I got a good foothold, I just slip back down. My topic today is tattoos. Frequently asked questions about them, talking about my own tattoos, my own experience, all that fun stuff. So, if you are interested in ever getting a tattoo, if you're not interested in getting one, but you're kind of curious what it's like anyway, or if you just like seeing my face, please stick around. If you have seen me do things before, welcome back. If you'd like to see me do things on a regular basis, please go ahead and subscribe and also ring the bell so you don't miss out on any new videos. Let's get started. The first question on my list: how many tattoos do you have? I currently have 8 tattoos. Most of them are on my arms. I do also have tattoos on my spine and on my thigh. I started getting tattoos back in 2015 when I was 22. Why did you start getting tattoos? Well, thanks for asking. My first tattoo took me about 2 years to work up the nerve to actually get. It's one of my favorite quotes from a song by Radiohead, and it always really resonated with me, and I knew that I wanted it on my body somewhere, but it just took me forever to work up the nerve. I went to school in Nashville, which is a very artsy place. A lot of people there have at least one tattoo, and so it didn't feel like a social taboo like it might in other places still, I guess. So I got my first tattoo in Nashville. Do tattoos hurt? Well, yes. Sorry if that's not the answer you were looking for, but it is a needle depositing ink into one of the layers of your skin, so it doesn't feel great. Different spots hurt more than others. Typically, the less padding there is on a spot on your body, the more it's gonna hurt. It also depends on how intricate the design is that you're getting, whether there are any really thick lines in it, because the more lines or shading there are on a piece, the more times that the artist is going to have to go over the same spots over and over again. So it might not hurt the first time, but it probably will the 5th time. But the way that I think about it is it's a trade-off. You're trading a few hours of pain for something you're gonna get to enjoy the rest of your life. So for me, that's a worthy trade. Which of your tattoos hurt the most? So this is a tie. There is one on my spine, and that one really hurt because there's no padding on my spine, and it felt like the needle was going directly into the bone at times. That is tied with the tattoo on my thigh. For whatever reason, the skin there is just super tender and sensitive, and so it did not feel good. It felt like someone was dragging a very sharp needle across some very sunburned skin. It wasn't a fun feeling, but again, worth it. Which tattoo was the least painful? So that would be my very first one on the front of my arm here. This to me is not a super painful spot. I have a little bit more padding than I do in other places, and also the design is just thin lettering, so it was very quick, very easy to sit through. It took about 20 minutes. How much do tattoos cost? So they're usually not cheap. That's the short answer. A lot of shop minimums in Hawaii, at least, are around $80 or more. Typically though, you're not gonna have to pay just the shop minimum. On top of that, usually there is an artist. There are hourly rates that each artist charges, and of course you can't forget about the tip. Please tip your artists. How much of the hourly rate you are charged depends again on the design, how intricate it is, how big it is, and how well you sit through it, as well as the speed of the artist doing the tattoo. So I have had some artists really undercharge me for what I believe is one very specific reason. I am super nice to them. I make a point of being the nicest person they have seen all day, because they do a lot of customer service, which you don't really think about, and customer service people are notoriously mistreated. So having been in that position myself, I make it a goal to be so nice to them. I sit really well through the tattoos. I don't ask to take a lot of breaks. I show up on time. I defer to their judgment. If they say the placement's gonna look a little off, I go by what they suggest, which is usually the right thing to do because they know what they're doing. So if you make it a point to be really kind to your artist, and of course everyone, not only is it the right thing to do, but a lot of times artists really appreciate that, and they will show their appreciation by shaving a little bit off the price they quoted you. One thing that I really love doing is shop specials. So some studios will run flash specials. So flash tattoos are the pre-made designs that tattoo shops will have in a little booklet on sheets of paper, and you just kind of point and pick. Those are flash tattoos. A lot of studios will run specials on these, usually on certain holidays or days of the month, usually at a much lower rate than the shop minimum. So I love those because if it's a design that I like anyway, of course I'm gonna get it at a discount. Other places will run specials like this, except it'll be based on size rather than the design. So you can pick your own design, but there will be requirements like a 2" by 2" design, arms and legs only, because those are easier places than say like your rib cage or your back or something. So I love these because I am clearly addicted to adding new designs to my body, and I am much less picky than I used to be. That's not to say I just get anything tattooed. I have to like it, obviously, but the cheapness of it is usually what drives me toward getting a new piece during these flash specials. So I love them. A lot of shops will do flash specials like this on Friday the 13th or Halloween or other spooky holidays, which I love because that's kind of my vibe. How long do tattoos take? So again, this depends on what you're getting, who your artist is, and how well you can sit through pain. Because if it's something short and small in a place that doesn't hurt very much, it's gonna be super fast. This, again, I was quoted 4 hours for this, but I constantly love to push my limits, and I'm also a cheapskate, and I didn't want to have to pay as much of the hourly rate, so I sat through it in 2.5. So if you can handle that, then you might end up saving a lot of money. Is there a special story or meaning behind each of your tattoos? No, not really. A couple of them do have special meaning, but that is no longer a barrier for me to get new designs. A lot of people, myself included, for their first tattoo are terrified of getting anything except something that has a super deep, explainable meaning. But once you get your first tattoo, and especially your second and your third, because it's hard to stop at one, that hesitance is chipped away, and you're more likely to become someone like me who, if I like the look of something, I'll say, yeah, sure, I'll get that on my body for the rest of my life. Why not? If you're worried about being able to explain your tattoos to people, don't be. It's something you're choosing to put on your body, and so the only person who has to really understand it is you. And you don't have to feel obligated to explain your tattoos to people, because that's silly. My thing is, if you subscribe to the belief that your body is your temple, that means you also have the right to adorn your temple however you want to. So anything that you like, that you think looks good and makes you happy to look at on your body, it's your own business, and you should do it if you want it. You don't absolutely need a deep, understandable, explainable reason to get a tattoo, just the same way you don't need one to get your ears pierced or wear certain clothes. Which tattoo is your favorite? That's a hard question, because that's like asking a mom which kid is her favorite. It's hard to choose. But if I had to, I am a fan lately of two of my latest tattoos. One is the sun and moon on this arm, and I'll show a picture of it somewhere. And the other one is the planchette with the two cats on my thigh. I really love that spooky light vibe. That's really what I'm aiming for, and so I'm really I love those pieces a lot, and I want more like them. Would you ever get a tattoo with your significant other's name? So I actually kind of already have a version of this. The tattoo on my spine is my wedding year in Roman numerals, and my husband actually has the same tattoo on his arm. I wouldn't really ever do a name, but mostly because it's not my aesthetic. My thing about relationship tattoos is, even if the worst happened and the relationship was no more, it still meant enough to me at one point to put on my body permanently. So I can respect that, and I can be at peace with having it on my body because of what it meant to me. That really goes for any tattoo design as well. Although I'm gonna say I wouldn't recommend getting your boyfriend or girlfriend's name tattooed as a whim, or if it's been a super short relationship or anything like that. That is definitely a tattoo that you should give a lot of thought to. Do you find that people judge you based on your tattoos? So sometimes, as with all things, yeah, people will judge you based on your tattoos. Mostly it's just older people staring in disapproval. Typically I just stare right back. You grow kind of a thicker skin after a while. You're less afraid of people being upset by things that you do, but you know, if someone's staring at you, it's okay to stare right back. I do want to say that most of the time, if a stranger ever does mention my tattoos to me, it's typically a compliment. I like having tattoos that are visible because it is a really great way to kind of filter out the people around me and scare away anyone that I would not want to talk to anyway. Have your tattoos stopped you from getting a job or gotten you in trouble at work? No. So that used to be kind of the thing that people would say, like your parents would tell you, oh, once you get tattoos, like nobody's gonna hire you. I've been careful about my placement so far, just because the kind of jobs that I typically try to get are usually office jobs, and a lot of those aren't as tattoo friendly yet. At this point, I can wear cardigans or long sleeves. It's very easy to cover mine up if I need to, and that fits very well with business casual clothing anyway. Although right before I got laid off from my last job, they did do away with the no visible tattoos at work rule, so it was cool and nice to be able to walk around in a short sleeve top at work. Tattoos are becoming so much more common now, and I feel like the more young people enter the workforce, the more commonplace they're going to be, and the harder it's going to be to have antiquated rules on dress code and what's considered professional. If you told me tomorrow, though, that I would never have to work ever again, I would probably immediately start going out and getting forearm tattoos. So there's that. Aren't you worried about what your tattoos will look like when you're old? Not even a little bit. So here's the thing. Every person that gets old is going to experience the physical effects of aging. Their skin is going to get wrinkled. It's going to sag. It's going to stretch. That's going to happen regardless of what's on the skin. So when I'm super old, I am still going to appreciate my stretched out, wrinkled, faded tattoos because they're mine. They're something that is unique to me, They are how I have chosen to decorate my body, and they are a part of my story, wrinkles and all. I'm also super excited because have you ever actually seen a tattooed old person? They are awesome. I cannot wait to be one of them. And the last question, are you going to get any more tattoos? Of course. I am an addict. I can't stop. I don't know what I'm getting yet specifically. There are a couple ideas that I'm working with. I do want to expand onto new places that I haven't really touched yet, but I definitely don't see myself stopping anytime soon. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this little dive into the world of tattoos. I hope it answered some of your questions. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tattoos or what you'd be interested in getting, because I would love to read about it. If you have not done so yet, please go right now and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And also like this video. It helps me out more than you know. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that I will see you in the next video. Bye!